And when I have fish, I call some of everybody. I'll call them and be like, okay, I went fishing today. That's when I don't want to clean off. I don't want to clean off them because it's too many. I'll be like, I caught these fish. You want to come by and get some fish? And, a lot of people, they see me and they're like, Ms. Martha, when you going fishing again? I'm like, I don't know, but I'll let you know when I do, because they know it's rarely that I come fishing and I don't catch them like I did right there.
Yeah.
If I come and I don't catch no fish, I'm sick because I feel so bad. What happened? What's going on? Because just about every time I come, I catch the fish like I'm catching now.
I recently interviewed the owners of Mansfield Plantation, and after our interview, they told me of a lady who had lived on Mansfield her entire life, and she had countless stories from haunted soldiers walking the fields to capturing and trying to tame a bobcat with her brothers when she was younger. So I wanted to catch up with her and hear these stories for myself.
See, I've been fishing out here since I was 3 years old. I was born here. So my grandmother taught me how to fish when I was 3 years old out here. So I've been fishing in here. And I meet a lot of people out here because when the guests come, if I'm fishing it, like I said, I got all these poles, so I always invite people to fish. And then I'll teach them how to fish. And so I meet a lot of people that way when they come out here. So when they come again, they're like, well, could you call Martha so she could come fish with us? Or, they like that. And I like it. I love to fish. Martha Reed White. Everybody called me Miss Martha. Some people call me the fishing lady. They don't know my name, but know they get fish from me. So, I catch them, but I don't eat them. I don't eat them. I feed everybody else. I'm the neighborhood goodwill. The people in the neighborhood, they are so happy to see me when I come back from fishing with the poles in the car. Everybody's like, Miss Martha, am I going to get some fish? But listen, they want the fish, but nobody helps me clean the fish. you know, all they want to come do is eat when I have the fish fry, but nobody helps clean them and nobody helps you clean up afterwards. So, I, I'm, I just have a no-win situation. But they love it. But they love it, you know. So, see, that sun is beautiful.
Yeah.
Coming up over there, I love that too. And see, when I was a little girl, this time of morning we would be up because my father was military, so he make you get up at the crack of dawn even though you don't have anything to do. So what can you do? Come fishing, So me and my brothers would come fishing to get out of his hair because, he's up and moving, and so he wants us up and moving. I can say, what is there that there's nothing to do? Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to do but fish. He's, come on now. When I have a cookout, everybody that rides by or see it, anytime they see cars in my yard, they know that something's going on. And if you come up in my yard, you can get something to eat. Because I like feeding people. So I do that a lot, But, since we had the COVID, we haven't been able to do that. But I can't wait till things taper off so I could go back to doing that because I like helping people. I like helping people. I like feeding people. I do that, because I have sometimes some of them will come by now and they'll be like, Miss Martha, did you cook today? And I'll be like, yes, and I'll fix them something to eat or whatever. you know. So I just that's what I do. I love doing that. My father came out here in the 40s after he was in the war. He came to Georgetown because he's from Williamsburg County. He came and he came out here, and the colonel, which was the people that owned the plantation, then the Montgomerys, he hired my father, I guess, because he was military. He came in his military uniform. And my father said he told him to go clean out the stables, which shovel them, you know. And he said he did that all day. And at the end of the day, he told him to go back and get his family and come. And so he did. He went back to Williamsburg County and he got my mother, and he had two kids. No, he had three kids then. He went and got them and brought them back, and we moved in the house behind the church because that was the bigger house. It was one of the biggest house out here. And because he had children, we moved there. And we were there till 93. Yeah. One time they told us about it. My mother told us that she dreamt about a treasure chest. Me and my brothers was adventurous. So she told us where it was at. And so this was in 73. This was in 73. We had a big we were what we call a big snowstorm, you know. And we were like shut in. We couldn't go out. Trees were over the road and stuff. But she told us where it was at. So me and my brother, we decided that okay, we gonna go out and we gonna find this place and we gonna see if we can't find the treasure chest. So my grandfather, he told us, he said, look, when people bury these things, they always bury something so that the spirit would protect it. And so something's going to try to scare you if you get close to it. You know? I told you, me and my brothers, we were adventurous. We weren't afraid of nothing. We give it a try. So, so we go out in the woods. My grandfather gave us the Bible, and he gave it to me. He told me while my brothers were digging, I was supposed to be reading the scripture in the Bible. So we go out, and my brother, those they are digging. And so I'm looking around because I'm always looking for something pretty to say I want them to catch it for me. So I'm looking, and here go this beautiful fox that's walking around, coming down the road toward me. My brothers, they're digging, and so I wait until it got as close as you are to us, and I said, Elijah, I said, oh, I want this fox, because it was the prettiest red fox with the white thing coming down here and the big old bushy tail with the white end on it, and I thought it was beautiful. I wanted it. And I'm like, Elijah. And he's like, Martha, leave me alone, because they think that they done hit something under the ground. So they think they done got to the treasure chest. But I want this pretty fox. And so I kept telling them, look, I want this. And honey, when Elijah those looked up and saw that fox, they ran and left my butt. They got scared. They thought it was one of the spirits my grandfather was talking about. They ran and left. They ran and left me in the woods. And I had to come back and find me because now I'm running around lost. I don't know. You know, one night me and my brothers went out in the woods. We would wait till my parents go to sleep. And we would go, that's when we would go out in the woods and get us, get all kinds of stuff. We had a petting zoo. You know what I'm saying? We got in the woods because what we would do, we would go and dig a hole. My grandfather, he's part Indian. He done told us all the ways that we can do all these cool stuff the Indians did. So what we would do, he told us about digging a hole. You put some stuff over it, and whenever the animals walk over it, they fall in the hole. Then later on that day, we would go out there and we get whatever it is, and we bring it home and make a pet out of it. So we had tons of stuff that was animals that were pets, but we never caged anything. You know, if it stays, it stays. If it goes, it goes. We got a bobcat one time, and myself, I'm the spoiled baby. So I said I wanted them, back in the days it was Zsa Zsa Gabor, and she had the tigers, and she had a leash on them, and she'd be walking them down the street, and I wanted to be Zsa Zsa. So I told my brother, I'm like, I want you to tame that for me, because I want a leash on it, and then when I go to Georgetown and I have it like Zsa Zsa, everybody's going to wonder where Martha got that from. Okay. So he's like, okay, because I'm the baby, I'm spoiled, don't want me crying and having a temper tantrum. So, okay, he's going to do this. So in our house, we had a playroom that was for us, a big empty room. And so my mom, she was at work. She worked up to the big house as a maid. So she's at work. So my dad's out in the field. They plant stuff to sell. So they're out in the field. So we're home, nothing to do but just make Lodger get bit up. That thing almost killed them. But anyway, he go, because we looked at Barnum and Bailey Circus. So, how you see the lion tamer with the whip? So Elijah's gonna be like the Barnum and Bailey man. So I had a little red rocking chair, and he got that rocking chair, and we had already threw the cat. It was a bobtail cat. Those are one of the meanest cat out there in the bushes. So it was angry because my father had shot one of his eyes out because he was stealing the killing our chickens and stuff like that. So my father shot it. And I think my father shot his eye out because he had one eye. But anyway, he had the pointed tail, the little bob, and I loved it. I wanted it. So Elijah get him. He got my rocking chair. I had a little red rocking chair, you know, and he got the rocking chair, and he went and got a stick, and he tied some string on this branch that he got. And he's like, okay. He told me and my brother, he says, I'm going in now. He said, I'm going in, but if I holler for help, y'all open the door. Not. Me and my brother horns like the devil was already sticking up on our head. No, we're not going to let you out that room if you go in there. You know what I'm saying? Because we were bad. And so he goes in there with the little red rocking chair and the little whip that he made. The cat's sitting on the windowsill. The cat is angry because the cat is hissing and waiting for a prey. He's waiting for somebody to come in that room and bother him, right? So we locked the door behind him when he went in there. Me and my brother locked the door. So we're outside standing up on a crate looking through the window. He went to that cat with the little stick like this, and he said, and that cat jumped all on his head and scratched him all, and he's hollering and screaming, and he's like, let me out. He go to the door, bam, 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 bam. We said, you gotta tame him. That thing almost ate my brother to death. My mom heard him hollering all the way up here. And she came running, and when she came and opened the door, he ran out the back door, and the cat ran out the door behind him. But he was all scratched up, all around his neck. And my mom wanted to know what happened. Me and my brother like, we don't know. He went in the room with the cat. We didn't tell. Yes, he had to be bandaged up for about a week or so. That cat had him messed up. But you're the oldest. Why would you listen to the two youngest? That's the way I look at it. But we would always get him in trouble. It was a wasp nest under the bell up there at the church. And my uncle had came from New York and told us this thing about, oh, I can pick a wasp nest and won't get bit. He said, rub your hand up under your arm, and you could go there and you could pop it down, and the wasp won't bite you. Of course, we told Elijah, Elijah, do that. Let us see you do that. Them thing had him look like he had he had eggs all over his body. Those wasps almost bit him to death. And my mom would always get angry with him, saying she wanted to know why he was listening to us, the babies. Why are you listening to the two babies? Oh well, sorry. Yes, we had a séance one night. We want we Oh, we saw too much. We looked at too much TV. We saw them doing it on the TV. So they're like, okay, you write a letter, you don't dot no I's and cross no T's and all of that. And so me and my brother, me and my three brothers, and one of my cousins came to spend the weekend with us. So we're gonna have the seance. So we go in my brother though's room because that was the darkest room in the house. So we went there and we set up. You know, we drew a circle. We had done wrote a letter and all of that. We got some candles. My mom, though, was up here to the big house working. So just us at the house. So we started the seance. We wanted to call one of my cousins that lived out here, and he had got killed in Atlantic Beach. Somebody shot him. So we wanted to call him to find out exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? And so we started, we're holding hands and we're calling him and stuff. And we go, you can't break the circle and you can't turn loose. And we started, and and after a while, you know, like how the window flies open and all of that, and the wind blew the candle out. And so my cousin, he's hollering and screaming and want to go. We won't turn him loose. You can't break the circle. We kept calling, and after a while, a little white puppy came in the room, and we did not own a puppy, and that was it. All of us went through the window and got out of the room. We were real. We were terrible. We would do all kinds. We had the run of the plantation. There was no place we couldn't go or nothing we couldn't do. So we did it all. We be in everything, you know. We like going out in the woods and something scaring you half to death, you know, and you don't know what it was. One time when I was little, we were coming down this bank, and it was in May, and you know, they said it's the mating season for snakes, and we got trapped. We got trapped because there were trees on both sides, you know. And we would go down there because right at the mouth of the river there was a glass house, you know, made out of glass that the previous owners had built. And we would go, and you could stand on the porch and fishing out there and catch huge fish. But we were on our way back, and there were snakes in every tree. On the trees came over this, like that. And there were snakes on every branch of every tree. There were snakes on the ground. And my mom goes, you gotta be careful. You gotta step real careful. Me, I was on my brother's neck. I wasn't doing nothing. I was I was on my brother's neck, and he's scared to death. I'm scared to death because you don't know if they're gonna fall out the tree on you. You gotta be careful how you step, because if you don't, you're gonna get bit. And we had to walk all the way from up there all the way back down there. And I was scared to death. I wasn't walking. I was on my brother's neck. I was on his neck, holding him in his eye and everything else. I'm not walking. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Everybody was scared, and they were, you know, acting like they couldn't. You know, everybody's tipping toe between the snakes, and I'm like, no, ma'am, I can't do it. I love talking, and I I love talking about how I grew up on Mansfield. I just love talking about Mansfield, because to me, it's home. Because I was born here, I lived here until I was grown, and so it's home. And I love telling people about the adventure of Martha, Lodge, and Sam, the trio. I just love talking about that, you know, to people, and they get a kick out of some of the stories. They be like, well, you and Sam shouldn't have done that to Elijah, but he was the oldest.
After we finished filming, Martha took me and showed me more of Mansfield. She showed me the building she grew up in and the massive burial site used for generations of slaves. She then told me more stories of how her grandfather would distill whiskey on the property and hide the still in an area surrounded by a swamp because authorities would not go there.